Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl. This time we're on Season 5, Episode 8, titled The Wrath of Ramakhan, and he was one of the characters we were introduced to in the last episode, where we kind of had who Leviathan is and consisted of revealed to us. So we got the Granny of Doom, presumably human. We got Ramakhan, who seems to be the main kind of leader and one of the founding members of this still presumably a secret society, but he and we also have Mrs. Wheeler, and I call her that because the actress who plays her, as some of you may know, or many of you may know, is Cara Bueno. She plays Karen Wheeler in Stranger Things. So I've resorted to calling her Mrs. Wheeler because to my knowledge, her name has not been revealed yet, nor her powers. So yeah, I think her abilities are based on technology because she tried to convince Ramakhan that brute force and his way of doing things was over and that the world has evolved, and he revealed that they actually crash landed on Earth years and years ago, like in prehistoric times and stuff, like during when the dinosaurs were, and that they've been around like long before the humans rose up and all that stuff. So since then they've been trying to since the humans rose up, they've been kind of controlling humanity and trying to perhaps keeping them at bay in some way. But now, as humanity's evolved, they've become harder to actually combat and actually control in that same way. So now, in today's day and age, humans are even more advanced with the technology they have. So, they've kind of grown controllable out of Ramakhan's reach. So, Ms. Wheeler, or Mrs. Wheeler, not really Ms. She is convinced. She's trying to convince Ramakhan to actually allow her to use her methods of technology to actually control humanity that way, like she said in the last episode, the days of brute force and all that stuff and his earth bending and stuff is over. They need to at least try her technology to see if it works out. So I assume in this episode we may see a little bit of that and get a bit of history on her as well, but Lena and Kara, which I will get to in a second, they went to the fortress to try and to try and see who these people were and where they came from and if there was a weapon that could stop them. Which, funnily enough, there was, but that's not what Lena used it for. But we did get some information at the Fortress of Solitude, and we found out that they are from the sister planet of Krypton, which is Johannvor or Johannpur or something along those lines. If they left the planet and crash landed on Earth during the dinosaur times, that would be way before Krypton exploded. Because I think, especially since we see the show from Kara's point of view, she left Krypton decades back, but then she was trapped in the Phantom Zone for a while, and then she eventually reached Earth, by the time which Superman was a grown man. So if you're talking about dinosaur times, that was years and years before. So they've been here longer than her or Superman have. But I mean, they're not specifically Kryptonians, but they are the sister planet to Krypton. So whether or not them leaving had anything to do with Krypton, or whether they're their own independent planet, despite it being a sister planet, is something yet to be revealed. But they were a sister planet to Krypton, and they landed on Earth during the dinosaur times. So yeah, I mean, dinosaur times you get a bunch. You get Triassic, Jurassic, other Asics, but dinosaur times I think feels like a broad enough kind of term and like a general enough kind of term for people to still know what you're on about. So yeah, that's that. But Ramakhan is an earthbender, as we've seen, and Brainy nicely labeled him as such because he literally does manipulate the earth, and he did. I mean, in the fortress, he did manage to manipulate the earth a little bit. Somewhat, he did manage to create a ball of ice and earth, in some way, and then Kara managed to suck a bunch of that as well. But then soon after that, she realized that not only is he not in a place made of ice, but it's also not earth ice, and it's how he found them as well. So she soon got the upper hand, and then Lena helped out and stuff like that. So that was cool. But yeah, Lena and Kara. Tensions rising between them is a very, very gentle way of putting it. What happened in that last episode was not just tension, that was weeks of pain being finally released and such, and she caught she caught Lena trying to steal Myriad, which I believe she was stealing, which she was going to steal to try and release her technology, her like project No Cherry, or like do no harm thing, which I mean, the way we've seen her use it's still contact lenses. So I don't know if that would just like fly out into the air and drop contact lenses from the atmosphere and everyone would catch it, or what would happen, or if it would be nanites, or I don't know. But she was planning to use to steal Myriad to use it for her project. And then once she was caught doing so, she revealed everything to Supergirl, that the trust that's been between them even after the whole reveal was just a pure bunch of bullshit. And she's actually been in a lot of pain, and I think it's incredibly. I read like an interview as well with Katie McGrath where she even said like it's very easy to vilify Katie, to vilify Lena after those things, because you're seeing her like screaming at Supergirl, and you're seeing her put her in a cage of kryptonite before jumping out with the Transnight portal. So it's very easy to see that as the actions of a villain, to say like like her saying like oh, I'm not a villain, you shouldn't treat me like one. Like, yeah, you are, you're doing all this stuff, you're hurting people, she violated the minds of Eve and Malefic and kept Malefic in captivity, and Eve for like with near enough the same intent. So it's very easy to call her a villain, but she also did make a good point of saying that this is just like a very, very damaged person making a cry for help. That like the Lena we know is still in there, and she's being enshrouded with all this pain and all these feelings of betrayal. So she really just in there, like she's deep down, she knows what she's doing is wrong, but doing this is the only way she knows how to actually respond to all of this pain, to years of to pain built up as a result of years of being kept in the dark and secrecy and betrayal. So it's she really isn't like as much of like the bad guy as people would like to make her out to be. She's a good person making some very, very bad decisions. That is essentially like the depth of what's happening. And she's deep down a good person in a lot of pain, and as a result, she's making a lot of very, very like bad decisions, like unquestionably bad. Like no one would look at this and say, oh, it's Lena, she deserves a free pass. Like, sure, she deserves to be held accountable for this, but she also deserves to, She also deserves to be seen from both sides of the coin, like not just to be looked at as, oh, you lied to me, so I'm gonna go around like mind raping everyone on Earth. Like she is like doing all this stuff as a result of like the only way she knows how to deal with pain. No one's ever, she's never really had the chance to talk about like everything that's happened to her in life. She's never like had the chance to actually be seen for like who she is. Like her name has always been that kind of like bloodied plaster on her, like on her existence. Like people take one look at her name and then she just gets generalized along with the rest of her family, and that's been hounded over her. And then like her best friend keeps this secret from her for years on end, and then the way she finds out is even worse. I think not enough people are taking into account that the way Lex told her about it, like the fact that it was Lex that told her about Kara being Supergirl, but then the way he told her as well, he had it, he used every opportunity to twist that reveal beyond belief, and to really push the knife in even harder, and he took every opportunity. So it doesn't make it any easier knowing that not only does your best friend keep this kind of thing from you, but she doesn't tell you until later, and the only way you find out is at the hands of one of the people who abused you for pretty much your entire childhood and your entire appraisal. So yeah, but Lena, I think I am under the sincere belief that there is very much still hope for her. I do think that there is still hope for her, and I think coming up is Crisis, so I think nothing's really going to happen after that. But I think in this episode we should see Kara, and I think we're going to see a lot of distance between Kara and Lena. We're going to see a lot of distance between Kara and Lena, but I think we're going to see Kara actually making the rounds necessary to try and save her, and actually conversing with the rest of the team to see how to save her, and actually telling the team the truth as well. So yeah, but that was them, so we'll see how that goes. And John and Malefic reconciling, that was not something I initially saw coming. We had Jean, contacting his father through mental counsel, and then his father informed him that, you know, he's actually still on Earth, he's in a lab like across town and stuff like that. So then he went to visit him, and then he opened his mind up to him, so Malefic saw his side of their journey through pain and isolation as well. And then Malefic immediately like sympathized with him, like he saw he saw and felt exactly what John experienced. So then he held his hand out, and then they ended the episode in a brotherly embrace. So that was unexpected but really nice to see. It was a surprise for sure, but a welcome one. So yeah, that was that. Then we had Alex and Kelly talking a bit too, with Kelly kind of addressing her fears of losing another another loved one, or in this case another girlfriend, to the job pretty much, because her fiance, her first fiance, died in action on the front lines. So that she took a pretty deep hit from that. So now seeing Alex going around doing what she does for the DEO and almost being killed in the process it was a very, very hard thing for her to watch. And she was kind of in the mindset that she couldn't do this anymore, and she needed out of the relationship if she was going to survive. But then they both got to talking, and they eventually figured that, you know, they are together for better and for worse. So, you know, like, they will get through this together, and any problem that comes their way, they can easily talk through it. They're still at a point in their relationship where they know each other well enough to actually, you know, want to know more, but also like know each other well enough to be able to get through their problems fairly easily. They don't have any other kind of like negative histories together. They've been through a lot together, so it's only going to get better from here on out. So dance and stay strong. Dance and stay strong. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have from this particular episode, from that episode. So episode 8, The Wrath of Ramakhan. Let's go.
Ms. Luther.
Don't fire.
Deploy.
Deploy? Lena? About deploy. You should have put destabilize or something. Lena.
What's happening now?
It appears to be rearming the cannons with kryptonite.
Well, cancel it.
It's on an automatic override.
Oh, crap.
It's not responding.
Shut it down now.
Oh, now, so 1 minute is deploy, next minute is shut down.
I'm not gonna give up on you.
No. Didn't doubt it for a second.
Last time this happened, I wiped out Pompeii.
A masterpiece worth repeating.
He caused Pompeii. Oh, damn. Okay.
I think I might know.
Oh, Johnny Boy's back. And there's Bro's back. No. Everything's okay. Okay, alright. They've reconciled. They did a brotherly hug.
Inhibitors. All she's experienced are people hurting each other the same way I did. Clearly, she thinks she's doing good.
Oh, look at that. Kara understands Lena's perspective.
Plan to destroy my
Yeah.
I'm the one who hurt her, so I'm going to fix this. Brainy, get the hologram online.
One person still has to have hope in her. It might as well be Kara.
You can tell them that I quit.
They're gonna take that for an answer? Whoa! I think not. Damn. I think not.
We can save them. All of them.
So I take it it's less about dropping contact lenses from the sky and more about the Q waves being, like, projected out into the world.
He wanted my mistakes to change you.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted you to become him.
That is a very Lex Luthor thing to do.
I'm nothing like him.
I learned what kind of deceitful person you really are, and that's what inspired me to do this.
Lena.
Your words mean nothing to me anymore.
Oh,
Spare spoke the drama.
She knew that Lex was out of prison, and she said nothing. She kept Sam Arias locked in a sub-basement at L-Corp, knowing that she was Rain, and she said nothing. She knows how to make kryptonite, and she kept that hidden from us.
Oh god, okay. Everyone is making good points and I cannot handle this, okay?
She is one.
She is not Lex. I will not treat her like a
It's
villain. I
about
know
stopping her but not defeating her. She's not a villain in that sense. We need to stop her and show her the light again.
To speak to her, we used the hologram.
One.
Okay, good. Good connection. The one time I'm happy to see an error. The one time I'm happy to see an error.
The dish's ability to move.
How could it be so naive to think that Supergirl wanted to talk?
If the virus spreads,
Okay, she didn't know about that any more than you did, Lena. Come on.
We need.
Oh, there has got to be another way to stop Lena that isn't blowing her up in a bunker.
Would Alex really resort to killing Lena?
If I can stop Miss Luthor from making the same mistakes that I did, then all the turmoil and pain that I have caused will be worth something.
Yeah, okay, fix this, but don't kill him off. Don't kill him off for as a price of that.
Extinction level events have been happening since the beginning of time. I should know. I was here to make them happen.
That's a badass line. That's a badass line. Oh, god damn. Whoa. Oh, I thought he was gonna impale her. But no, he's... What's he doing?
Leviathan thanks you for your service.
What is that? What's it doing?
The last eruption was in the early Cenozoic era and was 10,000 times more powerful than Pompeii.
Jesus.
So he's trying to recreate Pompeii, a national city?
Pompeii times 10,000.
Okay. We need to divide and conquer.
So that would wipe out enough of the world for them to want to restart it.
I can't promise you that Malefic has changed for good. People make mistakes, and they do terrible things.
Malefic is willing to rectify them at least.
Let them do better.
You're the only friend I can count on.
But Ms. Luthor, I'm not your friend. I'm something you created to serve a purpose.
She's a friend of your making. You made her fit to be everything you wanted her to be.
This is the only way.
Could Brainy have been wrong?
No, this is exactly what it is. Just try underground. Wow, yep. I'd say try underground, but he's coming up to the surface. Whoa.
You let him know that if he so much as smiles, I will have a dozen agents and their guns pointed directly at his heart.
He smiles. Damn.
Ms. Luthor, we are locked and ready to launch Myriad.
Oh no. Oh, good God.
And now so will I.
Don't do it, Lee. No. Oh, this is a very bad sign. Very, very bad sign. Very bad sign.
30 seconds until the first Q waves reach Earth.
30 seconds. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, but of course, locked and loaded. Ready to watch for his smiles. Oh, come on. Come on, Malefic. You can do this. Come on, Malefic.
Jean said his brother has changed.
Give him, just this once, give him the benefit of the doubt. Just this once. He is willing to help. At this point, I highly doubt he has any ulterior motives. All he's wanted is to get back at his brother, and now he's with his brother.
All agents, inhibitors off now.
Okay, she's giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. There we go. More power. More power. Oh, is he gonna be okay, though? Okay, he's shut it off. Oh god, and she's trapped.
I have been here for millions of years. That's how it's always been.
And what have you got to show for it? You have to keep destroying them. It shows that your ways clearly don't work. Oh, there come those Q waves. Oh, there go those Q waves. Yeah. Oh, that's Malefic. That's my man. Oh, damn. No super volcano for you today, Ramakhan.
Sometimes the good guys don't win.
Lena. Stop this, please. You're hurting all of us. Oh! And she hurt him. Damn.
Enough.
Oh.
You've had your last go. Your reign is over.
Oh, they're taking him out of the game. Don't kill them. Oh, a hostage situation.
I did all of it.
Drop the gun. You're surrounded.
Oh, hostage situation.
Take her away.
Great, so that way the mastermind still lives on.
Well, if we can save Malefic's soul, maybe we can save Lena's.
Oh, the car. The space car.
Not a scratch on it.
The space car.
I'll do my best.
Okay, so that's good. A good ending for him. A happy ending for him. That's good to see.
Well done, John Jones.
The Monitor. What the fuck are you doing here?
Test.
And now you are ready.
Ready for what?
The Crisis.
Crisis.
No, don't like the sound of this one bit.
Finally.
Lex is alive. That, okay, so the Monitor did resurrect him.
Swear this place is a bit stale, but first we have to discuss my sister.
Oh crap! What plans have you got in store for Lena? Would you... Oh god.
The knowledge is within you.
I'm sorry, who's talking? Is that the Monitor? I don't know. It doesn't sound like him. Whoa! Okay, it took him in. So has he entered some kind of new world? To be continued on Crisis. Crisis on Infinite Earths, baby. Okay. Oh, next week is gonna be one hell of a week. Okay, so should point out a little disclaimer. I mean, that ending scene with Nash wasn't too spoilery because it didn't really introduce anyone new. It didn't seem like it contained any spoilery material, but I have a lot of catching up to do in terms of Batwoman, Arrow, and Flash. So this week I will be doing my absolute best to power through the reactions for those episodes, leading up to next week's Crisis, so that I can actually make sure that I'm in time for Crisis. I feel like saying that is jinxing myself a failure in doing so, but hey, willpower, the willpower is there, I assure you. So yeah, but yeah, that was a very nice ending to teaser to prepare us for the next Crisis. So I assume all this week's episodes for Batwoman and Flash and Arrow will all have those kinds of endings, like to be continued on Crisis, and then Crisis week is gonna be a big week. But yeah, I mean, this seems like this episode alone, as a standalone episode, it definitely fares well. It definitely stands well as like an ending for or like a mid-season ending for for the series alone in preparation for Crisis. Like they have their own little dilemma which they solve, but then the dilemma still stands. And then we have Crisis to enjoy, and then afterwards we jump right back into the solo action. But yeah, so what do I even say about this? But yeah, I mean, what do I even say about this? I mean, they really took a stab at that. I mean, since the last week's episode, like, you know, like the big kind of issue has been actually like evaluating Lena as a hero or as a villain, but overall as a good or ill-intentioned character. And I think I think from what I've seen, there's been, I think, what's safe to call a divide, but for the majority, like the majority of people have still kind of said the same thing, which is, you know, like Lena is a good person, obviously making very, very questionable decisions. She's undoubtedly making very, very bad decisions, very, very poor choices, as a result of all of her pain, and she's doing things that would make it easy for you to call her a villain, and if anyone else were doing it, you'd have no issue calling them a villain. But the thing is, Lena, the main difference with Lena is the fact that she's never had a villainous backstory. She comes from a life of pain and a background of pain and trauma and all that stuff, but she's never, like, you know, she's like, you know, she's never allowed that to manipulate her in the way that, you know, I mean, obviously what I'm about to say will contradict what she's doing right now, but she's never allowed that to manipulate her in the way that she wants to cause pain to other people. This is not her trying to cause pain. This is her trying to stop other people from causing pain, because she's seen the after effects of it and she experienced the after effects of it firsthand. So she wants to take away the element of pain from, like, what humanity is all about and all that stuff. So, you know, that is what no Chere is all about, really. But yeah, I mean, Lena, I mean, I think she's, there is the faintest, I think, the faintest of lights within Lena, the faintest of lights, and she just needs someone strong enough to hold out hope and to hang in on hope, to believe that, you know, that light is, like, resurrectable, and that light can be brightened and can be found again. So, you know, she's currently under the guise of, you know, being like, that no one apart from Hope, someone she created to serve her needs and purposes, no one besides from her can be trusted, and that no one else can understand what she's going through, no one else can understand her pain. So right now she can trust no one, and that needs to change, and or at least she needs to, she's adapting to that to be able to fulfill her final kind of mission. So yeah, I mean, it's like she's kind of going, she's going forth with a very, very pessimistic outview on things, I think. You know, like her thinking that, you know, because of the virus reveal, I mean, even Kara didn't know about the virus that Alex and Brainy put into her projection transmission. Like she initially just wanted it to be able to be, like, she initially proposed that idea as a way for her to talk to Lena. It wasn't even until afterwards that Alex told her, yeah, we put a virus through your projection so that we could hack her satellites and everything. But then Lena sees that as like, oh, it's a Trojan horse, so she uses a way. She uses talking to me as a way to try and, you know, hack my systems and all that sort of stuff. So she's like, you know, look, she refuses to believe that there's any other way that, you know, she could ever trust someone again, and any future kind of communications or introductions or any future proposals or any kind of idea or contribution a person, anyone besides from Hope, might put forward to her as having an ulterior agenda, having an ulterior motive, being a way of hurting her in the end. So she's it's enforcing her to have a very, very dark and pessimistic outview on things. So she's just like refusing to believe that there is any way other than No Chere, and that, you know, like, that there is any way other than her way. So she's headed down a very, very dark path. I think it's safe to say right now she is continuing down a dark path. Myriad has been averted. It's been taken down, but I think, you know, I think a woman with her intellect and her kind of capabilities would have other resources at her disposal than No Chere. But now, given that her plans have been thwarted and the FBI took Eve in and she confessed everything, now she knows better than to immediately jump back onto that wagon. She knows she needs to plan out her next steps and stuff, so she will be doing that in the meantime throughout Crisis, presumably. I don't know if she's going to be a part of Crisis. I think it'll be kind of cool to see that, but I don't know if she's actually going to be a part of it. But yeah, I mean, what confused me was Alex's willingness to give up. I mean, I will say that Alex made some good points. I will say that Alex made some fairly good points, like her saying that, you know, Lena herself has had a habit of keeping secrets, and no one is calling her out on that. I mean, Alex knows it, and she didn't even, like, she waited until now to actually call her out on that. And I think it's fair to say that because, like, it wasn't even until now that, you know, like, even Kara, let alone the team, knew that, you know, oh, Lena knew about her identity for months, and she never said anything. So, you know, she kept that from Supergirl. And, you know, I think thinking about it now, I think it's like, I think, you know, part of Lena would probably, I mean, I think that there is maybe a part of Lena that would actually like to understand that this was Supergirl's secret, for one thing. Lex had no right to tell her this was Supergirl's secret, so, you know, like Kara, you know, had her reasons, which she shared when she told Lena about Supergirl. So for those reasons, she had like her own right to actually keep this from her, and she would never keep it away from her from a relationship like you know, like, I mean, given how close they were, like, you know, like Kara suddenly having some kind of evil ulterior agenda for keeping her secret as Supergirl from her for so long would not make any sense. But I think I think the darkness in her that was built up for years was too strong to actually keep holding on to that idea that, you know, Kara herself should be able to reveal that secret to me when she's ready and when she feels like, you know, it's safe enough to tell me, as opposed to, she's keeping it from me, she's keeping me in the dark, treating me like a fool and all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Alex made the very good points of saying that, you know, Lena knows how to make kryptonite. She kept that from the team. She kept Sam in her lab and treated her as she treated her as Rain, and knew that Sam was Rain and knew about all of her powers and all that stuff, and she kept that from the team. I think back in that scene, I think I remember seeing like a GIF set on Twitter or something the other day, like she actually like when Alex found out, she confronted her. She confronted Lena about Sam being Rain and being kept in Lena's lab, and then they had like a small interaction based on that. But besides from that, I think up until the reveal, I think it was only actually Alex that managed to find out. But besides from that, I think Lena kept it from everyone else. But that happened, and Lex being free. It wasn't until Lex actually got away. I think. Wait, was he even? I mean, no. I mean, she was working with Lex, but she never even told anyone about that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like in some sense that one is slightly more debatable, because for one thing, she was never, I think, you know, she was never fully intent on actually helping Lex. I think by the end of that episode, she was never actually planning on giving Lex the Harun-El cure. But you know, she was I think, you know, that one. I think, you know, she was still kind of under the mindset that this is her brother. That she has to help him. And in the process, she's helping James as well. And I think, you know, her resource, I mean, this might be a bit of a stretch, but I mean, her, all the resources she needed to work on her Harun-El cure were in that lab where Lex was as well. So I think, you know, I mean, again, might be a bit of a stretch, but maybe she just couldn't really go anywhere else. Maybe she the Harun-El she needed and the equipment she needed was in that lab where Lex was. So there was nowhere else that she could go that wouldn't take more time away from being able to save James. But yeah, all that stuff she kept from the team. So Alex made those good points. But then what surprised me was Alex's willingness to actually kill Lena. That surprised me, because they also have their friendship. I think it's not I think from my own experience, it's not nearly as popularized or as focused on as Kara and Lena's, but it's Lena and Alex still have had a friendship. They've worked together before. You know, back in the last season when when Lena was working with the DEO, Alex actually, you know, upon finding out how corrupt the government actually was, she was like, you know what, I'll work with you on this as me and you, not as the DEO and you, as me and you. So they had that little interaction, and over since their introductions, you know, they've had more and more reason to actually work together, and they've taken those reasons. So, you know, I mean, she made a good point that, you know, Kara doesn't know how hard this is for her because Lena is her friend as well, which was, again, why I was so surprised. Is you say she's your friend, but then you kind of bargain that, you know, killing her is the only way out of this. And understandably, it would either be using Claymore to kill her, or it would be using Malefic, knowing their history as well, to actually, using Malefic's Q waves to actually, to counteract the Q waves exhibited by Lena's satellites. So yeah, I mean, Alex herself had quite the conundrum: either kill Lena, or trust someone who's threatened her the life of the love of her life. So yeah, I mean, knowing what she suffered at the hands of Malefic, it's very easy to see and understand that, you know, she would not be very 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 quick to be trusting of Malefic, even if other people were saying that he's changed now, he's a changed man. Like, you know, people can still. I think it's a very, very kind of understandable like perspective to have, that, you know, oh, he could still have an ulterior agenda. But I think, you know, seeing what we'd seen, seeing them being so quick to reconcile after Jean opened his mind up to Malefic, and seeing that they had gotten together, that would give you some hope. That would give you some hope, and he genuinely wanted to help, and, you know, wanted to redeem himself of his crimes. So yeah, but yeah, Alex wanting to kill Lena, that took me by surprise. That definitely took me by quite a bit of surprise. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say about that, but that one just seemed kind of somewhat less likely to me. Like, she's like, I don't think she'd be. I mean, given the stakes, it makes sense, and especially as the director of the DO, it is her job to be able to be a quick thinker and to be able to think on the spot and come up with solutions. But at the same time, I didn't really think she'd consider that like taking Lena out of the map would actually be an option. But in the end, I think in the end she also did make another good point of like, oh, we need to start thinking with our heads instead of our hearts. Like pining after Lena for too long is going to take more time away from them actually it's going to take more time and more power away from them being able to actually come up with a workable solution. And I think she's like, especially given like the stakes and the time at hand, she just didn't have time to actually consider whether or not to actually like keep holding out hope for Lena either. So yeah, and I think again with those added points, it makes sense. Like, she's like, you know, she kept all of that stuff from the team. Even like her work with the Harrenhal, she kept that on the down low. So, you know, she has kept stuff from the team as well. So, you know, in the slightest sense, I think like in that slightest sense, there is you know, that there is some sense of hypocrisy there. Just a little bit, but again, it all comes from that pain in her. I think it all comes from you know, like that pain of not being able to trust people and not being able to like tell them exactly what you're doing or tell them exactly what's going on. And I think you know, I think even initially when she started seeing Sam, there was that kind of tension between them as well. Like, she told them like, you're Rain. Like, she told Sam like, you know, you're Rain, you have superpowers and all that stuff. And then I think there was like a line from Sam about like, you know, oh, you go to a doctor, they say this, you go to a dentist, they say this, and you go to a Luthor, they say you're a supervillain. So again, like her, Sam being told that she was Rain, like the alien terrorizing National City by a Luthor, wasn't exactly like an ideal thing to hear. So she kind of jumped straight into that. So that didn't help Lena either. But yeah, again, it all comes from a place of pain, and I think Kara definitely, in the beginning of the episode, Kara definitely saw that. She definitely saw that. She said, like, this is all coming from a place of pain. She's making all these decisions and doing all of this from a place of hurt and betrayal. And she's kind of she's just having way too much trouble seeing hope in humanity anymore, seeing hope in anyone anymore, and that's why she created Hope to actually like she didn't need. I think she didn't really she I think. On the one hand, I think it's because she needed someone to talk to that she knew she could trust because she made them. But on the other hand, I think she needed someone to stop telling her that there was hope, because she herself felt like she was way past saving at that point. So she needed someone who wouldn't spend all this time telling her that she was still she was still worth saving and there was still hope. So she needed someone to tell her what she wanted to hear instead, and someone who would support her through this project of hers. So yeah, how this stuff is all gonna go down, I have no idea after Crisis, but it's gonna go down for sure. It's gonna go down for sure. But yeah, we will get to that stuff. We'll get back to that stuff later on. What else do we have? Malefic's redemption. That was a good thing to see. Malefic being redeemed of all of this, and I think my one issue in that sense was like them saying like, you know, oh, the amount of power it would take for him to counteract those Q waves would probably kill him. I was like, no, just don't do that. Do not bring him to the point of redemption where redemption for him requires sacrifice. Do not kill him off. Give him something. Give him an arc he can actually take on to redeem himself of his war crimes and his personal crimes. Like, you know, give him a way off of the evil character chessboard. Okay, so in the end, he actually like after taking off the inhibitors from all the agents that were sucking up some of his power, he actually did end up being able to exhibit more Q waves to counteract Lena's, and did end up taking down the satellite. So that was a very, very good sign. And then by the end, he was sent back to Mars by Jean to work with M'gann and the White Martian Resistance Force to end the war, to end the Martian Civil Wars, or at least, you know, help bring an end to it, with his expertise of working with White Martians and with mind control and whatnot. So yeah, so he's back. He's going to go back home and join his people again and help bring some restoration and order back to his planet. So that's a good thing to see from Malefic's side. That was great. And what else? Rama Khan and the Leviathans. So apparently, the Leviathans have been kind of versing themselves and facing off against the humans since they landed. They allow the humans to grow, but each time they think that the humans are growing out of control and that something's going wrong, they wipe out the humans and actually allow them to start over again, and to actually, you know, I think it's maybe like a mix of population control and also kind of, you know, the larger the population grows, that the problem grows, like whatever problem is, whether it's hatred or destruction or whatever, like the larger the population is, the more area that they can actually damage and all that stuff and all those problems that come with it. So I think it's a mix of population control and also kind of damage control too. But, you know, not only has he been cited, like, not only has he been placed at the scene of the crime of every kind of major extinction level event or natural disaster in history, he's been the cause behind it. He has been the cause behind it. So Pompeii, I think the most common one they've named, and probably the biggest one he's caused, is Pompeii. So, you know, Vesuvius was all of his doing, and he did that to cut down on some of humanity's stock and to allow them to restart over again. So now, this time he was doing Pompeii 2.0, but this time with like a 10,000, like Pompeii times 10,000 with the supervolcano in National City. So yeah, so he has been Rama Khan has been. I think earthbending is probably just one of his powers. I think he can bend other stuff too, but earthbending is one of them. But Rama Khan has been the one responsible and involved with every extinction level event in history. So I mean, look, if he landed during the time of the dinosaurs, for all we know, they could have been the meteor that took them all out. That could have been what happened. Yeah, because that was pretty much an extinction level event. Yeah. So if him and the rest of Leviathan landed when the dinosaurs were around, and before humanity rose, they could have they could quite literally have been the asteroid the asteroid that took them out. Okay, so you know they were doing population control the moment they landed, literally the moment they landed here. So yeah, and it makes you wonder how big their ship was as well. Like for an asteroid to I mean, I don't know if it was like a one singular asteroid or if it was multiple that just broke off in the atmosphere and then still did like enough damage to wipe them all out. But either way, they took out the dinosaurs, and they've been trying to control the population of humanity ever since. So yeah, but now Rama Khan is out of the game. Rama Khan has failed time and time again, and I think, you know, I think it shows that he's failed because he's had to keep pulling the extinction card out. Like every time he thinks he's solved the issue, humanity grows again and another problem arises, like another political or another destruction or some kind of ill doing from humanity rises, and then the population, it spreads throughout the population, and then they realize they need to cause another event. So it shows that like his method just isn't good enough. Like it is no longer about population control, because, you know, like the ones you leave behind will still have that same mentality, and then the ones born into the world will have that mentality spread into them, and then he's had to keep destroying humanity over and over again to get them to actually, you know, do the right thing, and it's not working. So, you know, I think I think he might have mentioned her name earlier in the episode. I'm gonna go back and have another look. I think he might have mentioned her name. Maybe. Gamemne. Okay, that's her name. Gamemne. So yeah, Ramakan is out of the game, and the boss of the both of them put Gamemni in charge. So I guess now is the way forward, like with her and her technology are the way forward, and I think, I think extinction level events, I think now are pretty much out of the game, because the survivors will I think, again, like she made a good point with like how technology's evolved to this point now. Like, if anything ever happens, even the smallest of disasters still gets kind of broadcasted around the world, and people are still aware of it, and then people come together to try and save the survivors and all that sort of stuff. So making an extinction level event would allow people to actually band together more to try and fight to survive more than it would actually take them down. So I think with if they are heading more for population control and actual like controlling of humanity itself, then I think whatever technology Gamemni has that could help them solve that would actually be a much better fit than yet another kind of natural disaster. But yeah, that was that stuff. But what else was there? I think nothing else much. But yeah, I think I'm kind of, I mean, for me personally, it's not much of a conflict. I'm still kind of like holding out hope for Lena, because I think, I myself, I would very much like to think that, like there is very much hope for Lena, and there is kind of a way to save her, because again, she is not an inherently bad person. She's not someone who has ever wanted to hurt people. She's, if even in the midst of all these questionable things, like to do with Non Nocere, no Nocere, I should say. She's doing it to take the evil out of humanity, to take that willingness and the ability to hurt out of humanity's minds. So I mean, again, it's mind control nonetheless. It's non-consensual mind control that's bad no matter what way you look at it, or no matter how you try and implement it, or even what the after effects are, or what the intentions are. But at the same time, it's like Lena is someone who needs to be shown that, I think well, needing to be shown is a very, very modest way of putting it, but I think she desperately needs to be shown that, like her past does not define her future. The people that she has been hurt at the hands by do not define her future, and that, not everyone is out to get her, not everyone else is out to hurt her, and and also that Kara is the last person on Earth who would ever want to hurt her. So I think, she just needs to be shown that, there are still people who care about her. They're like her being hurt is a very, very terrible thing, but there are people willing to help her through it, and that she doesn't have to, stop everyone else from hurting in order to get her point across. And that, she's making all these choices out of a place of pain. I think it's something that Kara understood right off the bat, but Alex just kind of made good points, but at the same time she just couldn't really see it directly that way. She thought, her point was that Lena was past saving through all of this, because again, she's done this. She's done the stuff that she's accusing other people of doing in the past. She has kept stuff from the team in the past in the name of the greater good. So she's not completely she's not completely inexcusable from the stuff that she's the stuff that she's hurting from. But yeah, I think after Crisis we will see exactly how we return to this particular story, and how we actually progress with these characters. But yeah, me myself, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I am still holding out hope for Lena. I think it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. There is no denying it. It's gonna take a lot of time for Kara and Lena to even be like. It's gonna take Kara a lot of time to be able to reconcile things with Lena, let alone get through to her in a way that saves her from herself. And I think that is exactly what it's about now. It's about saving Lena from herself, and about showing her that there is still goodness inside her, there is still a light inside her, and showing her that the way she thinks that she's a hero is not the best way to be the hero, and like the way, I mean, even her saying the good guys never win when she lost with Myriad, she needs to be shown that like what she was doing was not something that good guys typically do, but it doesn't mean that she's inherently a bad person. She just needs to be shown the way again. Which again is easier said than done, but again we will see exactly how they progress with that particular story post-Crisis. But yeah, so Eve has been taken into FBI custody, and she's the one who confessed to all of that stuff. So I think likelihood. I don't know how. I mean, Eve herself was possessed by Hope, so I don't know how much of that she was able to like see, even experience it anyway, like whilst being possessed. But I think Hope probably did a good enough job of impersonating Eve and confessing to all of that stuff. So she's back in custody now. But yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of wondering whether or not we'll see Leviathan trying to go after her, because she went off the map for them quite a while back. But either way, we'll see how things go for her in FBI custody. What else? But yeah, Crisis stuff. I mean, so he made that as a test for Jean. He released Malefic as a test for Jean from the Phantom Zone, and now he's like, you know, he's preparing Jean for the Crisis. So what his Crisis training or whatever will consist of, I'm not sure. But now, I mean, starting from like this is the last one for this week, so now like the next episode of Supergirl will officially be kicking off. It will officially be kicking off Crisis on Infinite Earth, so I'm super duper excited for it. It is a crossover I cannot wait for. Undoubtedly the biggest crossover the Arrowverse has ever done, so there's a lot for them to balance out and a lot for them to actually be able to execute properly. But yeah, this week I will be heavy and like just knee deep in powering through catch-up episodes and stuff with reactions, so it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be a busy week. But I am all the more looking forward to it in preparation for Crisis. But that scene at the end as well, like with Nash with Nash was from The Flash, like he was on Earth 1 and he was talking to someone and saying that, you know, he'd spent years tracking them down and finding them to try and kill them. So I mean the voice sounded like the Monitor, and like the choice of words were pretty close to what the Monitor's was as well, but I don't know if it exactly was a Monitor, but he pressed some keys on like a door and then got sucked into a blinding light, so he's probably going to be popping back up in crossover again, but we'll see where he's at when the crossover comes. But what else? We had Lex, yeah, so I think, you know, I mean, we saw at the end of season 4, the Monitor showing up and doing something to Lex, and I mean, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was just the recovery of his body or if it was resurrection. But now we know for a fact it was resurrection. So Lex Luthor is alive once again, and he has a special role to play for the Monitor in Crisis 1. The Crisis and the Monitor wants him to become a hero, so he wants him to play the good guy for once. So I think that means we'll see him actually playing along with the actual heroes, with the good guys, and actually being one of them. So I think it makes sense, because Lex is the guy. Lex is the kind of guy with the resources and the intellect to actually be a good guy. He has all the necessary power and like all the necessary kind of assets to be a hero, but it's just his mindset and his drive are very different from a hero's. He's the kind of guy to do the bad thing and then think he's doing the good thing. That's exactly the kind of hero he is. So that's, like, surprisingly enough, that's the kind of hero that the Monitor wants for this crossover as well. So I think, you know, like, I mean, I'm assuming we'll see him teaming up with the likes of Flash and Supergirl and other heroes showing up in the Crisis too, but we'll see exactly how that team up goes. We'll see exactly how it goes. And he was on the Monitor's little space podium playing some otherworldly version of chess and is checkmating him each time. So now he's officially being prepped up for Crisis. So we'll see next week exactly how that runs. Exciting times. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. I think it just concerned me now. Like, we haven't seen Nia for like 2 episodes. Like, the last time we saw Nia, she proposed like a lunch date with Kelly. We didn't really hear how that went. Kelly hasn't mentioned that at all. So what's happened to Nia? Like, there's been literally no mention of her. Like, not even her. Like, not even Brainy or Carl or anyone saying that, oh, she's out of town doing something. Like, there's been no mention of her. No sighting of her at all. What's happened to my girl Nia? Like, I mean, did the Monitor pick her up off screen? Does she have a special role as well for Crisis? I don't know. Like, I mean, I'd be less worried if there was at least a mention of her, like her being out of town and then her coming back into National City for the crisis or something. But you know, there's been no mention of her. No one has said at all where she is. There's been no Catco thing for. I mean, yeah, I mean, no sighting of William Day either. Like neither William nor Nia have actually been sighted or even. Well, I mean. No, in Tremors we had in Tremors we had a sighting of William. I think I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I think. Wait, did we? No, I think that was probably in Conference. I don't know. I think regardless, it's been at least a couple of episodes since we've seen or heard from Nia or William. So I think they're off doing God knows what. But I don't know. Yeah, I think it just clocked me now. Like we haven't seen Nia at all, and then I was like, wait, we haven't even seen William either. So what are those two up to? We're like, where have they gone? But I'm sure those two are fine, and they will both be back for crossover in time. Well, I think Nia more than William might have something to do with crossover. I think if anything, William's going to be like too busy with any Catco business he's got going on to be involved in the crossover, but I think Nia is going to be having a much more prominent role as Dreamer in Crisis, so that'll be fun to see. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. Looking forward to seeing how everyone is going to be involved in the coming Crisis and how it's going to be approached. I think, well, I mean, Supergirl and Batwoman are on the Sundays, and that's the first day of the CW Arrowverse schedule. So I think those two episodes will be the ones kicking off the Crisis. So it'll be very fun to see how that unfolds. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how everyone is involved in Crisis and how all of that stuff unfolds. Looking forward to seeing how they actually return to all this to the Lena and Kara stuff and the Leviathan stuff in the in the rest of the series after Crisis. And I think this would be the mid-season finale, because Crisis, I think because it's now the end of the year, like they're going to be taking that kind of Christmas hiatus before the series before all the seasons come back. So I think it's only even half of Crisis that's airing this year, and then they're going to take a break, and then I think towards the end of January they're going to return with the rest of Crisis, and then return with the rest of the seasons as well. So yeah, things are really going to get heated up, and then we're going to have some time over the break to process everything. I mean, that just means the Crisis is going to be really big. Like things are going to, like, shit's going to go down in Crisis. Like, things are going to happen in Crisis that's going to really blow our minds, and then we're going to have all of Christmas to actually just process that, and then just return to the rest of it, and return to the aftermath of whatever happens. But it's going to be all the more fun to see it all unfold. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this particular episode. So that was Supergirl Season 5, Episode 8, titled The Wrath of Ramakhan, which was cut very sweetly short by Gamemne and the rest of Leviathan. But yeah, that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next, and what you think is going to happen for Crisis. And also the uncut reaction for this episode will be up on Patreon, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.